Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. All right, and it's heating up, man. The rumors of war. All right, the rumors of war have made daily headlines at this point, man. Russia, Ukraine, America, all right, Iran. All right, because we know, and Esau behind the scenes, they know that it's all going to take place in the valley of Jehoshaphat. And that's why they've fought so hard to secure that land and to, keep it under their thumb and to try to manipulate, the events that go along there. But it was never meant for Esau to survive the coming of Yahweh Shai. And they've never been fully successful in that because on one side you got Russia wanting to control the area, and then the other you have the United States, and both have taken a turn in ruling over that area. All right, and now Russia's making their big stand, but at the same time, the U.S., they just pulled out. They just kind of showed some diplomacy, but if they move too far, then the U.S. gonna be drawn back in because they don't want to feel have too much pressure on their allies in the region. Let me say it like that. All right, and just want to do a quick edification video on who are the Arabs. Who are the Arabs? All right, and let's start with where it mentions them. This is 1 Kings 10, and I'm starting at 14. It says, "Now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 606 talents. Beside that, he had of the merchantmen and of the traffic of the spice merchants and of all the kings of Arabia and of the governors of the country." All right, and we know that region, that valley of Jehoshaphat, we know that to be the Gulf Coast, all right, along with, Gulf Coast, the Persian Gulf, Salakia. The Persian Gulf, right? Because it talks about that, Joel 2, it talks about, between the East Sea and the utmost sea. And so it's talking about that area, Saudi Arabia, Iran, that entire area, right, where those two factions of Ishmaelites are actually at war. All right, divisions in damn near every nation on this planet. All right, but going to the point, speaking of the because it says the kings of Arabia, and let's go to the blessing that Ishmael was given, right? Because we know that the Arabs, from Arab meaning mixed, those are the sons of Ishmael, right? Because Ishmael was blessed, in order for him to have a certain portion as well. All right, now it says, it's Genesis 21:9, "And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, when she was born unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And the Most High said unto Abraham, Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman. And all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called." All right, so Sarah got that one right. She didn't want Ishmael to take the blessing from Isaac, which Ishmael was, older than Isaac, but nevertheless, it says, "And also the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed." And it's right, Ishmael. "And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water was spit in the bottle. She cast the child under one of the shrubs. All right, now jump it down. Verse 16, it says, she went and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot, for she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. And the Most High heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of the Most High called to Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for the Most High hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. All right, you got some references. And behold, I will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget. I will make him a great nation. All right, and then it tells you, verse 20, he grew, dwelt in the wilderness, became an archer. And then the scriptures actually list the genealogy of the sons of Ishmael. 1 Chronicles 1:29. These are the generations, the firstborn of Ishmael, Nabaioth, then Kedar, and Adbeel, and Mibsam, Mishma, and Duma, Massa, Hadad, and Timah. Jetur, Nephish, and Kedema, these are the sons of Ishmael. Okay, so 12 sons, as the Lord promised. 12 sons. And then in Genesis 16, that was weird. In Genesis 16, Salaki, this app is acting kind of funny. When he's blessed, when he first receives his omen nomen, so to speak, it says what? In verse 16 and 11, it says, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And I just want to note too, when you read these different nations and where they're starting off and where they were in accordance with Israel, and way back thousands of years ago, they're not necessarily in the same spot that they're in today. All right, so you have, because it tells you that Esau took daughters of Canaan. He took, a wife, one of the daughters of Ishmael. Moab was dwelling in a different place. Esau was dwelling in a different place. All these things have changed over the course of different captivities and wars and all these different things. All right. But if you ask Ishmaelites, if you ask those people from different parts of Arabia and the Levant, they actually know that they're Ishmael. All right. Whether it be they believe in the Quran, which talks about Ishmael, which, the Quran is all false doctrine. It's all garbage. But that gem that they took from the Bible to put in there, all right, they know that they're Ishmael. That's the point. Right? Because then it tells you, no, that's not what I want. And Sirach, Esdras, 2nd Esdras 15, and when it's time to make a war, and that's what all that conflict over there is about. Man, it's about trying to position themselves for that final battle, which Yahweh Shai is going to break up the party anyway, regardless of what space forces are around. There's nothing they can do. And when you look up the Carmanians, because this is the only instance of it used in the scriptures, it says a people mentioned in one of the visions, a horrible vision of the Apocalypse of Esdras. Their country, Carmania, was an extensive province of Asia, lying between Parthia and Armenia, and extending to Dragenia, It was frequently mentioned by ancient writers who describe the inhabitants as closely resembling the Medians and Persians in manners and customs. In the passage cited, they are intended to denote a fierce and warlike people. Yeah, Ishmael is a wild man. All right, fierce and warlike people being described as raging in wrath as wild boars of the wood and associated with dragons of Arabia. And then it says, 2nd Esdras 15 and 31, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remember their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Verse 29, though, is the point of verse 28. It says, behold, a horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. All right, and that's what's going on in the Middle East, man. A lot of those people are taking their land back. You know, they're nationalizing as they usually do, and they're ready to go to war. All right, Ishmael is a wild man. At a certain point, you know, when they, because Ishmael had rule over the nations at a time too, man. When had those Islamic caliphates, and then Jake was kind of off, and then we became tributaries to them, and then now to this day you have Jake into that Islam, which they were pushing onto us, with the Moors and stuff. You got Jake, still into that. And today you have the sons of Ishmael spread out through Egypt, Morocco, right, Algeria, Tunisia, all those parts of North Africa where Jake was, during the time of Columbus, 1492 and around that period. Right, those people replaced us, man. They used us, and they helped to sell us. That's why it talks about us when it talks about all those nations who came together to make a tumult. All right, because Ishmael was amongst them. Right, and you still have our people who are under slavery under Ishmael to this day, right, or who are under servanthood. I mixed in, man. Jake was scattered to the four corners of the earth. All right, so Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom.